I had been told by my agent at the time, she was like, or maybe this was like a couple years earlier, so it was just in my head, but she was like, you're kind of falling between types. And she's like, we don't know what to do with you here at this agency. Like, she was like, you're not like the long-haired Blake Lively type with the six-pack abs and the, you know,
they always
tan.
gotta stress that. They're like, one thing's for sure, you don't have a six-pack.
Okay?
You're like, got it.
Yeah. Cool. I see that.
Banging it out, banging it out, banging it out, banging it out.
Hey, welcome to Banging It Out. I'm Elke Thoms. My guest today dyed her hair bold, copper red to take back her power after years of entertainment industry mistreatment and feeling typecast and misunderstood. She is an award-nominated actress and singer-songwriter found on the 2020 and 2025 Grammy ballots. Her music is featured in Lionsgate films, IKEA commercials, ABC ads, Showtime, Netflix, and HBO shows. Most recently, she co-wrote the playful track Oops on K-pop sensation ILLIT's new mini-album Bomb, and you can catch her acting in the kids series Hedgehog Land. Her latest album, California Queen, is a cathartic alt-pop record centered around self-discovery. Kara Connolly, thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I laugh at that introduction.
I gotta be honest. I was exhausted getting through all your.
No. Oh my God. Thank you so much. That's so
girl,
sweet. But
I think you need to relax. I'm gonna be honest. I think you need to take a deep breath.
Thank you. I would love to relax. Do I need a new like hair change? I think that's what I'm feeling after all that chaos.
Exactly.
Like I'm like, is it time for a change? I like was laughing because when you were talking because I'm like, oh, there's a K-pop song and then there's a kids show Hedgehog Land.
Yeah.
It's like so like
I love
when you
I was like you're doing so much. This is incredible. I love your calendar must be
I sound like
scary.
a basket case.
Is this the first time you've sat down maybe this year?
So. I don't think I visited a chair this year. This is an interesting sensation.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here
sweet.
Today. Yeah, of course.
I'm so excited to be here.
I feel like, oh my gosh, so much to talk about. It's always really exciting for me to have a musician on because as a comic, like I like to think, you know, I know the world a little bit as an artist, but it's really so different. And especially,
no, but you all still like you're out there grinding. You're out there grinding. It is.
I'm always so
kudos.
jealous. I feel like musicians, though, y'all get to like shroud yourselves in mystery and like sex appeal, and comics were like
putting it all out
we're
there
like
for
we're
all
like
to
if
hear
I
and see.
fart really loudly in front of the audience,
Hey,
maybe
it's
they'll
part
like
of
me
it.
more. Yeah, it's really like, you know,
that is so
the
true.
Same
you know,
level of glamour.
I kind of wish I was a little bit more mysterious than I think I naturally am.
Yeah.
Like I just don't have that thing. Like I think I'm just like, whoa, this is everything. Here, let me tell you about my life.
Right,
and like,
totally.
You know what I mean? And then there are the musicians where you're like, oh my God, like so mysterious, so sexy. Like, and I just don't always feel like I naturally have that.
That is such a hard line to walk about like how much you share, I'm sure, of like, I mean, I get this as a comic too, where it's like, how much do I share that's
like, do they want to hear this? Or like, is this too personal?
Is this
or
too
like,
personal?
Does no one care about that?
Right, exactly.
Or am I not sharing enough of my personal self? Like, it's such a fine line, I think.
And actually, I'm curious, like, do you feel like with your music, I don't know if you've encountered this, but it feels, I think, that people want to know kind of the behind the scenes story and all of that.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a level of like, I don't know, some of this happened. You're taking inspiration from a lot of places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
I mean, I will share a lot of the behind the scenes because I definitely know for me that I think that's part of my thing.
Yeah,
like I like
totally.
to really share like the behind the scenes of the songs and the stories on, especially on stage. Like I'll be up there being like, okay, this dude inspired this song or whatever. Like I just like to really, it's part of what I do. I think is to tell the story.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I feel like, oh, is this too much? Like, am I talking too much? Do they just want to hear the song? You know what I mean?
I love going to concerts when the artists talk. I'm always like, ooh, this feels
and
like
when they don't talk, I personally get a little bummed.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I want to feel like this show got something like a little special piece of you outside of just the song. Of course, you're showing
100%.
up and singing,
right?
But I want to be like,
100%.
oh, we heard that special story or
Yeah.
whatever. And so sometimes I personally, I'm like, why didn't they talk?
Right.
But it's a fine line, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes they're like, just sing the freaking song. Like, we'd rather have 2 more songs than you like telling us about your Wednesday.
And I know how it is. You have a tight like set. You can only,
I can't
yap
go over
for so long.
Sometimes I do, and I'm like, so sorry. Oops.
How long have you been doing music? Has this been your whole life, or when did you start?
I've always written songs since I was a little kid, just as a hobby.
Yeah.
And I was always more of like an actor, honestly.
Yeah.
And I just thought music was like my hobby that I'd do in the shower, or I'd write when I'd get home from school or whatever, like sitting on my bed at night when I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I love
that.
Then in 2015, 2016, for some reason I just like got it in my head. I'm gonna make an album, and like
that's
I'm
great.
putting it out, and there's a whole process to do that that I had to learn and go through.
Yeah.
So I would say like my professional life as a musician started maybe in 2018.
Okay.
Because that's when I put out my first independent single.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of like prep that went into getting to that place where I was writing a bunch of songs and collecting them and working on them and working on getting to a place where I could like find a producer and produce it out. And
I love that you were like kind of like, I just want to release an album. Like it sounds like you weren't even thinking like, like, oh, I'm gonna be a musician, like whatever. It was like you just were like, I want to share this.
Yes.
And then
I think what happened was like I wrote a lot of songs waiting for auditions that just weren't coming.
Totally.
I was trying so hard to be an actor.
Yeah.
And then like nobody wanted to call me in for anything.
Right,
And
exactly.
I'm like, cool, sick.
Yeah.
So like I just had free time.
Yeah.
And so I would be writing songs, and then I'd be playing them to my friends. And then friends started to be like, do you want to come into the studio and write with me? And so then I would write with them. And then I had friends who were like, are you going to do anything with these? Like, I really like these songs.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I could do something with these. Like,
Yeah,
it kind of, I think I deep down always knew like I wanted that, but I just didn't know what that path looked like. Like whenever I would see people releasing music, I just was like, that's so cool. Like, and I think there was a part of me that wanted to do it, but I had not walked down that path. So I thought that it was like beyond me. If that makes sense. Like I didn't even know what that looks like. And then people started just asking me like, these are good songs. Like, why aren't you doing something with this? Like, have you auditioned for this? Have you done this? And like people were starting to get me auditions for singer-songwriter stuff.
Hell yeah. Always a good sign when you're getting auditions for things. I've been there, and then you're like, well, what about this thing I've been trying to do?
I was trying to do that for
like,
a decade.
Yeah.
So then when that happened, I was like, and then I was getting farther in those than I was with like the thing I've been working for like my whole life.
Yeah, totally. You're like, okay. That kind of happened to me with stand-up a little bit. Like I've always been like a writer first too, so I really relate to that. But stand-up was the first thing where I did it, and it felt like it came a little more easy than a lot of other things that felt a little more uphill.
Like the doors were opening.
Yes, exactly.
So then you just walk down them. That's what I was like, I gotta walk through this door because it's opening easier. Not easily, but easier.
I can definitely relate. The acting doors have yet to open for me. In fact, I would describe them as like a elevator you're trying to get into. That's
very,
like,
very
no,
shut.
we're actually closed.
Yeah, it's like, and it opens like a little bit, and it's like, nah.
It opens a little bit to reveal 50 people that look like you inside the elevator, and then
crying actors. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I mean, that was kind of my experience.
Yeah.
And then I found like, oh, these songs are finding their way like into places that I have not been able to get into as an actor, and then I actually finished the album and I put it out, and that led to a whole other slew of opportunities. Like I went on a West Coast tour. People started asking me to write for their projects because they were like, did you write this record? I'm like, yeah, I wrote this. And then I started writing for other artists. And then I started writing for film and TV and ads. And like all of that really just kind of snowballed from putting out this album. Granted, I mean, I was like pushing the album very heavy, like,
You weren't
and
just
then I just started getting like no,
you were grinding with it for sure.
I was grinding, but it did lead to kind of like where all the things. So now I'm like, oh, I'm in the music industry.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
like I just kind of found myself there. Yeah.
And so talk to me about kind of the the feelings of maybe being typecast that you
Oh
had
my
said you fell
gosh.
into. I can't wait to get into
Yeah,
this.
I think
Yeah.
up until this, it's interesting actually. The hair change really goes with everything we just talked
Yeah.
about because
Tell me about
I
that.
dyed my hair copper red right before I went to record this first indie album that I
Wow.
created called Life in Rear View.
Okay. And what hair color were you originally?
I was like your color. Yeah,
nice
like kind of
a nice, gorgeous, medium blonde.
gorgeous medium
Yeah.
blonde, shiny
Yeah.
and beautiful, and
Thanks. And you were like, "This has got to go."
I was
Let's
like,
get
we
the-
gotta
yeah.
No, I mean, I was
Take it out.
like,
Yeah.
you know, I think because I had gone through the gamut of hair colors. Like
Mm-hmm.
I, at one point, was like a bleach blonde.
Love that.
Then I went to,
Always
I
wanted
guess
to
I
try.
should say platinum, maybe not bleach, but like
Yeah.
very bright blonde.
Yeah, totally.
Like, you know, Paris Hilton blonde or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went to more of like a medium blonde. Then I let my natural hair grow out and I was kind of like a darkish medium blonde.
yeah.
And then I think at the point right before I recorded this album, I was
Yeah.
like, screw this, I'm doing whatever I want. Because I
Right.
was kind of playing the actor game up until that point.
Yes.
And I had a bunch of different agents. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people, you know, I've been listening to the pod and
this
I know
comes
this is a
up
common
so
story.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because you get your headshots and then you feel like you can't change it because you just invested in these
Totally.
headshots. And if you change it, you're like, oh my God, no, I'm going to have to get new headshots. I
Totally.
can't do that. I
I'm-
can't afford it. I don't want it.
100%.
It's too stressful.
I'm actually in that right now where like
Yeah.
I mean acting is not my primary, but I do go
Still,
out for
yeah.
auditions and things like that, of course. And I did just cut off all my hair and I'm just like I haven't updated.
You're like,
I hope my
"Ooh,
agent
hope
is
they
listening
don't
to this.
see."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just sort of like you know, I'm
Hopefully.
I joke that like my headshots and my hair is at a very medium length and I'm like maybe they'll think
I think it's medium,
yeah,
right?
they'll-
Like,
right.
I think
It's like it could be anything. Yeah.
I
but
mean,
it is.
always,
It's huge.
It's so funny because I'm actually for the first time in my life in the last few years, like merging the music and the acting now.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful. I have great acting representatives as of
Yeah.
this year and like feels like for the first time in my entire freaking
Yay,
life.
That's great.
But
Yeah.
I know my manager, I'm like, if she's listening, if I cut my hair or like colored it and it wasn't in the headshots, I would be getting,
yeah.
I'd get a call. Like, cause
Yeah.
she's so like,
If we did it live right here, it'd be a big problem.
Yes. She's super on top of it. Like
Yeah.
she was like, okay, your hair's like a little bit not the same shade. Can we
Yeah.
get another shot of you with a guitar but with the current shade?
Right,
Like,
exactly,
She's like,
yeah.
she's
Right.
really like
Gotta have the
on it,
picks.
which I really
Yeah.
appreciate because I'm like, okay, you're like a badass,
Right.
and like you're super on top of this, but I just
Yeah.
know I'm like, this is my, I can't
There's
change this
so
ever,
many details.
ever, unless I
Everything
want-
has to match.
Everything,
you know?
yeah, that's how it is with the acting world. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like they want it to all be exactly like you. They want you to look like how you
Right,
are in the
exactly.
picture when you walk in, and if you, God forbid, if you don't, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So God forbid if you change your hair slightly. So I kept the blonde for a while.
Yeah.
I had many iterations of headshots
Yeah.
too, where I was like, let me try dark blonde, let me
Right.
try medium blonde, let me try like bright
Yeah,
blonde.
yeah.
Like, and I think at the time I was just feeling really sick of that kind of chase and the
Yes.
game, and I had been told by my agent at the
Mm-hmm.
time, she was like, or maybe this was like a couple years earlier, so it
Mm-hmm.
was just in my head, but she
Right.
was like, you're kind of falling between types. And she's like, we don't know what to
Oh.
do with you here at this
I
agency. Like, she was like,
see.
you're not like the long-haired Blake Lively type
Right.
with the six-pack abs
Right.
and the, you know,
They always
tan.
gotta stress that. They're like, one thing's for sure, you don't have
You're
a
not
six
that,
pack.
okay?
You're like, got it. Yeah.
Cool. I see that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But she was
exactly.
kind of like telling me like you're not really either of these types, because she's like,
yeah.
you're kind of in between. Like,
Right.
she's like, you're not like the gossip girl Blake Lively, but you're not quite the girl next door who like
Right.
is like, oh my God, like she takes off the glasses and
Right.
we realize like she's kind of cute. Like
The number of auditions that I get that the first line is like, one thing's for sure, we don't want gorgeous. You're like, why
yeah.
did I get this?
Like,
Like,
You're like, thanks.
And then sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes they're like, one thing's for sure, we need gorgeous. And
Yeah,
you're like,
ooh,
okay, this is gonna
makeup,
be, yeah, exactly.
It's so like
This
the
is-
pressure,
yeah.
right, to try to be whatever they want you to be, and it's like
Yeah.
oftentimes very specific.
Yes, exactly.
And I was just like, oh my God, like I don't
That-
feel like I'm seen. Like it doesn't feel
Right.
like there's a space for me here.
Yeah, I completely hear that where they're like,
And
hey,
yeah.
we need you to fit into a type.
that
For
you're
better
not
or
fitting
worse,
in.
yeah.
And like literally they were like, do you want to get a spray tan and like hair extensions? Or like, do you want to dye your hair brunette and like gain 5 pounds? Like, like they were like trying to change me to get me to fit
oh my
a
gosh,
type.
that's crazy.
And I just was like, this sucks because like I don't fall into either of these.
Right.
And I was hoping maybe that would be like an asset.
Right.
But it felt like instead I wasn't getting opportunities because I would walk into like the cheerleader audition and I didn't feel like I quite fit that.
Right. If you were not exactly
Or there were girls that were more that. Like I
Right.
would be in the waiting room and I'm like, they
Yes.
probably were a cheerleader, like, and they are that.
Yeah,
And they're walking in and
100%.
like, that's them.
Right.
And like, I can play it to the best of my ability, but like,
Right. At the end of the day,
at the end of the day,
you.
like, it's not a shoe-in fit, which is kind of like what you need to get in the door at first.
Yeah.
So I think at some point I was just sort of like, you know what? I'm done with that. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to play by these rules anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually not even going to be a blonde. Like, I'm a
Right.
redhead now.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
love
and
that.
I think
You're
I
"Fuck
really
that, I'm out."
admired actors like Emma Stone and Amy Adams, where they, I think they also kind of maybe fell in a little bit of that like in between zone where it's hard to place them. Like,
Right.
And then they dyed their hair red. So I was like, okay, I'm doing that. Like, I was like, I'm dyeing my hair red. Like, you can't even like categorize me with these other chicks anymore.
Yeah. I
Because
love
like,
that.
I'm just not even, I'm not that. I'm a redhead. Like,
yeah.
you
You're
know?
like, I am I am taking myself out of this world where I'm fitting in one of these two boxes.
And I think in parts, I also was just, I was starting to get into the music industry. I had a music manager. I had like some people also kind of in that world trying to tell me who and what to be.
I can only imagine. This sounds like so many people telling you, like giving you advice on image.
Well, I just was never cool enough, to be honest. Like, and I think that's why I laugh. Like, I wish I was more mysterious because I think maybe it would be an asset, but I'm just not. Like, that's not who I am, and I don't even know how to be that.
Yeah,
and like when I try to be that, it just doesn't work.
Well, I think that works too. Like everybody, I mean, it's the buzzword right now, but everybody wants whoever you are, whatever authentic is for you.
Well,
so.
And my managers at the time were like, you're just not like cool. You know what I mean? Like they're like, so that's cute. Or like, it was like, do you think you could do like a photo with like a cigarette crown? And I'm like, but I'm like, singing about nice guys. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, but they were like trying to figure out like, so what is cool about you?
Totally. Like what? We need mystery here.
But they'd be like, your songs are great. Like they would talk to me and be like, you have like, you're such a good songwriter. Like you have all these like catchy songs and like you're really talented.
Isn't that great?
But
they're like, the art is great. We just need
but like, are you cool?
Yeah.
Like, just like, and I'm like, oh fuck. So I don't know. I just think I was kind of tired of it. And there were a lot of talk of like, I just feel like when you're a young woman in the entertainment industry, people try to like talk down a little bit to you as though like they know they have the expertise. Like, yeah, that's cool that you want that.
Right.
But I know because I'm in this position and I know more than you, even though you're the one that created the art, if that makes sense. You're like, but I wrote the songs, I've like created this thing.
Totally.
I've like, and they're like, yeah, that's cool. But like, we know.
I think there's a lot about what I hear, especially from my friends in music, is it's like, hey, here's what's worked before, and we're only comfortable kind
like
of.
Like so-and-so's trending, so can you do that?
Yes,
and you're like, yeah, but they're already doing that. Like, why would I sing in a whisper voice? When, you know what I mean? Billie Eilish is already doing that or whatever. But because they see that working, they're like, do you think you could like dye your hair black and green? And like, you could sing in a whisper tone? And you're like, but that would be weird as fuck.
Right.
Because I don't sing like that. And so that was
you're
kind
singing
of,
about your nice guys in a whisper tone.
Yeah, you're like, like it's like, whoa, weird.
Yeah.
But I just think I was so like getting that. And I just was like, oh my gosh. Like, and it was mostly dudes in their 50s and 60s who were like trying to tell me like how to be a cool girl in her early 20s.
Yeah,
like,
and you're like, what experience is this coming from for you?
Like really, it was that. Or they'd be like, well, do you think maybe you should like just be a songwriter? Or do you think maybe you should just this? Like they were kind of trying to like figure out where to place me. Like, oh, are you like a Sheryl Crow singer? I was finding it again, but in the music industry.
Right,
so it was like, so are you Sheryl Crow or are you Jewel?
And
or are you... And like,
and
it's just like, I don't know. I write songs I'm me and I'm not any of those.
How did everybody react when you did change your hair? And maybe more importantly, how did you kind of feel about yourself when
I
that
felt
changed?
really empowered to do it. I think I just was like, I'm just doing what I want, and this is what I want. And like it felt like me taking agency and like control back in my life over like, you know, sort of just feeling like tossed around.
Yeah.
And and it felt really good. I will say, like, I think it was a big shock to some people because they were like, "Oh my god, like you went copper red," and like, I didn't go like strawberry. I went like,
If you're watching, we've got photos up, and it is red.
Yeah,
so,
like it is red, and there were even some phases of the red that were probably even more red than this. Like it went, because red is difficult like to kind of match exactly every time.
Totally.
There were times when I would walk out and I'd be like fire engine red, and I was like, oh, that wasn't what I really was quite going for, but okay.
Totally.
You know, so there were phases where I like how, you know, and I think people were like, oh, whoa. And I think especially for my family, I think it was a shock because they were like.
Did your family know in advance, or were you just like.
I think I told them like that week, and I was about to see them.
Totally.
My grandma, my aunt, my mom, whatever. I was like about to see them right after I did this change.
Yeah.
And it takes a bit to transition to the red.
Totally.
So I think that first dye is never quite great because it kind of looks like muddied. It takes a bit to get to the full red.
To where you should
And then
be
you kind of
with
have to keep that for a bit. And it requires a lot of upkeep. Like you have to color your hair every few weeks because otherwise you start to like really see the line.
Yes.
Especially when you're like an ashier blonde. You're
totally.
like, it looks like I'm graying.
Any dye gives it away immediately.
Or they're like, are you starting to gray? Because they people thought I was a natural redhead. Like I would walk.
I know. You definitely have the complexion for it.
I think because I'm so white and light. Exactly. But I'd walk in and they'd be like, oh my God, like that's so cool that you're like, people would think that I was red. And then I would have to tell them like, oh, it's fake. And I cannot lie about hair stuff.
Yeah.
I'm the like people will be like, that's so cool. Like, and they'll assume it's your natural color. And like I'm like, I should just take this compliment and be like, thank you so much. And I'm like, it's fake.
It's fake. Let me tell you right away.
It's fake and it costs this much and this is who you go do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just can't. Again, no mystery.
But I love that your family was still like surprised. Like my mom, whenever I told her recently, like when I was cutting my hair, and she was just like, oh, well, you know, do it. Hair grows back. Like that was her reaction. I was
my parents were like, I don't know that we like this on you. Like, they were like, interesting choice.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And I think they just were so used to like seeing me with the natural color.
Totally. Well, I feel like parents are always offended that you don't like the genes they gave you.
Yes.
Like they always take it so personally. They're like, but you're me. You don't like, and you're like, nope, I wanted to adjust.
That's
and
like my dad. Like whenever I straighten my hair, because I get like kind of my natural curly hair from him. So whenever I straighten it, he's like, but the curl's great. Like you don't like the curl? The curl's great. And it's like,
he's out here wishing he could rock the curls even longer. He's like, you have to do this for both of us, and you can't.
He's like, where are the curls? So I think like the red wasn't especially like slap in the face.
Exactly.
Like, oh, you dyed it? Like, I don't know. They took it the most personally. I don't think like the people in the industry were like, okay, cool. Like, it seemed like people were open to it, and they were maybe like more open to me going that direction because they realized that maybe that was a window. Like it felt like they were like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, like
so then they were like submitting me for the redheads.
Totally.
Which is like its own little
you're
weird
like,
category.
great, you guys are satisfied now. You've got a little category.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that they're like, the categories are supermodel, girl next door.
Or redhead?
Question mark?
Weird redhead friend?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like there's like these specific. But it was funny because I started to get, and again, I don't know exactly what this is. Like I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know if it's the hair color. I don't know what it was, but I did start getting called in for parts that felt more.
The gods of casting.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just started getting called in for roles that I felt like, oh, that's more me. Like I can connect more with this character.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit more like dynamic and a little to me.
So that's great. So along with that kind of being like, hey, I'm pursuing, you know, releasing music and this is making me happy, but also those acting doors started opening for you a little bit more.
A little bit. I feel like it's only been in the last like few years that it's like felt like, okay, they're more so opening. But I feel like that was when it kind of started. Like, oh, I'm actually getting called in now. And it's actually for like stuff I would want. Yeah. And it's not like blonde number 7 or something, which I felt like I was getting a lot of that. Like, girl walks in a trench coat and a bikini and blonde number 7. And it's like, Oh my God,
You're
like I can't. I don't
yeah.
know. Like,
yeah,
if I
you're
can
like, guys,
do it,
this
guys.
is so, again, need to reiterate, I am not cool.
Yeah,
This
like
is
I am not cool.
yeah.
This girl is way too cool for me.
Yeah.
I can try, but like I'm gonna walk in kind of awkward. Like
I'm
don't
gonna
have
trip.
I'm
yeah.
gonna trip. Like I don't have a perfectly.
The trench coat is gonna give more creep. You
yeah,
know,
like
there's
my
a lot that's
posture's
gonna,
not perfect. Like really, like I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to really like think about those, shoulders
Right,
going down and like
exactly. Yeah.
sucking in. Like
Yeah.
it's not, that doesn't come naturally to me. So it did kind of open some doors, but I also felt more empowered. I felt like that was the first time in my life really
Yeah.
that I had like taken back my power and my agency,
Yes.
where I was like, this is me.
I love that.
And I decided to put out my album, Life in Review, and I was like, I'm doing whatever I want with this because I
Yeah.
don't have, this is independent. I don't have anybody
Yeah.
telling me like I can or can't book this role or
Yeah.
yes or no. Like I'm just putting
Totally.
it out and I'm telling my story and I'm taking the photos I want to take and I'm styling myself and I'm styling my makeup and my hair.
Yeah.
And I'm picking,
I love
the
that.
genre and I'm picking and so I just started doing interviews and I started putting out stuff and I really like think through that process. It really helped
Yeah.
me find who I am.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait, in the acting industry, you're sort of told a bit like who to be.
Yes, 100%.
And it's like, well, where can I fit to like work?
It's a very slippery slope. I think if you don't, it forces you to really know who you are because
Yeah.
otherwise,
They
right,
will
somebody will
tell
tell
you.
you. Yeah.
So it was the first time
Yeah.
where I was very much like, this is who I am right now. And like
Yeah.
maybe that's going to evolve and it has evolved. But
Right.
it's like, right
This
now,
is-
this is who I am. And this
Yeah.
is what I care about. And this is what I talk about. And this is what I write about.
I
And
love
like,
that.
I don't care if you cast me or you don't cast me because like,
Right.
this is who I am.
Because this is who you are.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
it really felt like an empowering moment and sort of like a fuck you a little bit
Yeah.
to like some of the people that were also trying to tell me, to wear like the cigarette crowns and the
Yeah.
whatever. I've heard a lot of different things.
Yeah.
That one stands out because I just thought it was very funny. I'm like, I'm singing about
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm like I haven't smoked a cigarette in my entire life.
yeah, you're like,
And I'm gonna have like a cigarette crown. I'm like,
yeah.
I just
you're like,
that one
something's gotta
stands out.
change because you guys are not getting who I
Yeah,
am.
yeah.
So when did you, because obviously now you're this nice strawberry blonde. When did
Yeah.
you decide to leave the copper red behind?
So I went to the Grammys in 2020 and
Mhm.
I kind of did my last sort of vibe for that,
that,
album,
yeah.
Life in Review. And
Yes.
I decided to do, because I feel like the Grammys is like the one award show where it's like, do whatever you
yeah,
want.
like, right.
Like go crazy.
Right.
It's not as like the Oscars is a little bit more like
I
what's the
see.
classy whatever.
Oh,
I feel like
okay.
the Grammys.
This is good to know for when
I don't know. Yeah, for when
find
you attend.
myself there. Yeah.
I feel like the Grammys is sort of like
Yeah.
show us your fun. It's
Yeah.
almost like the Met Gala, not
Yes.
to that
Right.
degree of fashion level, but like
But- right.
like
That
you
makes
can
sense.
kind of experiment. Like they
Yes.
want to see like what's the weird thing you're gonna show up, and
So-
it's cooler. It's like
yeah, something fun. You don't need
Yes.
to just be a polished version of you.
yes. So I
Yeah.
was like, let me do these like copper turning into rose gold.
Love that.
I did like a
Pretty.
rose gold sheer dress. I did like rose gold
Gorgeous.
makeup and whatever. I kind of
Yeah.
just like made again like creative
Yeah.
expression, whatever I want to look like.
Yeah.
And then it was COVID.
Yeah.
And I still kind of kept the red for a bit through COVID.
Yeah.
But then I think I was starting to think about my next record,
Yeah.
which is now California Queen, that's out.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I'm kind of like missing my blonde.
Yeah.
Like this, I actually feel like the red in a way, like it's me, but it was like the character of me that wanted to come out at that moment.
I love that.
And I didn't feel as connected. Like it doesn't, I know I'm a blonde.
Yeah.
So I kind
exactly.
of was feeling like, oh, like I miss a little bit of that softness. Like this
Yeah.
is so bold. And like you can't, I got a lot of like comments about
Yeah.
it. Like when I'd walk into a store, it was like your hair, like
Yeah.
that, it's hard not to notice it.
Yeah.
Which was fun. But I also was like a little bit tired of being like, oh, it's
Oh,
fake. And I'm
right.
not a
And
redhead.
This isn't
and-
me. We're going to take a little break. And by break, I mean 2 weeks for our listeners. And then we're going to
Yes.
come back for part 2 to hear more about the next project. But I want to
Yes.
end on a little teaser.
Yes.
If your next project were to have a hair style that represented it, what do you think that would be?
I would say kind of similar to actually what I'm rocking today.
Hell yeah.
I wanted length,
Yes.
and I'm kind of going for this like dark fairy tale heroine
I love that.
energy, like running in the woods with the long fairy tale hair.
Ooh.
So I've now got close to, I think, what that's gonna look
Yeah.
like.
Ooh,
yeah,
I love the fairy tale. All right. Well, coming up soon, more in part 2. Stick around for 2 weeks, and
2
we'll be
weeks.
back with
Just
Kara
sit right where
Connolly.
you are currently for
Yep,
the next
don't
2
move.
weeks. Don't move.
And we'll be right back.
Postmates food. Okay.